Hello all and welcome to our daily news show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Jia coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a comment, like and share it with your friends, as well as hit the bell to be told whenever we go live. I'll be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues today to talk about what got you talking today. Our first story: Singapore topped the world in life expectancy in 2017 with an expected lifespan at birth of 84.8 years, surging ahead of traditional chart topper Japan, and also enjoys the longest span of living in good health. But there has also been a rise in the number of unhealthy years that people live here. With me to talk about this is Salma, our senior health correspondent. Hello.
Hello.
So why are Singaporeans living longer?
Well, actually, Kimberly, we've been living longer since independence. Every decade, we live 3 years longer.
Wow.
So, absolutely. So, I think in 1965, our life expectancy was only 65 years.
Okay.
So we are now living at least 30 years longer.
Wow.
Okay, initially it was due to sanitation, better, fewer infectious diseases and things like that. But I would say over the last decade or two, it's more healthier living, good healthcare. We catch diseases early,
Right.
We treat them early. So for example, if you've got diabetes and you treat it early, you don't get complications. And all that helps to prolong life.
Right.
In fact, did you know we have over 1,200 people who are over 100 years old in Singapore alone?
No, I had no idea.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you'd say it's an advancement in medicine.
That, as well as people realizing that they need to do something to be healthier, to live longer.
Right.
But again, living longer is not everything. It's the quality that's more important than the quantity of life.
Yes.
And you did mention earlier that we're also living longer, healthier lives. And that's true. But unfortunately, the latest report shows that our unhealthy years has also grown.
Okay.
In 1990, we had about 9 years of unhealthy life.
Okay.
2017, it was 10.6 years, I think.
Okay.
So we're living longer unhealthy. So
Yeah,
that's
can we talk a little bit about that? Why is that happening?
well, part of the reason is also healthcare. The same thing that's keeping us living longer is keeping us living unhealthy longer. So we don't die off as quickly. We have a problem. We are still alive. We live with it. Having said that, it's not altogether too bad. You know, I spoke to Professor Chia Ki Sing from the Salisbury Hawk School of Public Health, and he was telling me that nowadays, a lot of us can live with poor health.
Okay.
So long as you're not paralyzed or something. So if you can't walk, if your knees hurt, you can go and get knee replacement.
Grin and bear it.
Right, yeah. No, you don't grin and bear it. You get knee replacement,
Okay.
and then you can walk again.
Frown and bear it, right?
Or if you're weak, all these personal mobility devices.
Right.
Right, you see a lot of old people going around,
Yeah.
with them, and they're still having a life. They're going to the market, they're going shopping, going on the MRT with it, and you see thousands of them out there. So these people are living what they call unhealthy years because they're not at the peak of health, but they're still having a good life.
But is there anything we can do then, despite it being sort of a good life, about this unhealthy year situation?
Yes. Unfortunately, the things that you can do, most people know about.
Okay.
Most people don't follow. Don't smoke, don't drink so much, don't take too much oil and salt and sugar, eat more fruit and veggie, exercise more. I mean, we all know that. To be honest, I didn't have a very healthy lunch today, but we try to make up, So if you do all that, if you exercise, you eat healthily, chances are you will have less problems in the long run. Yeah, and therefore you may then live longer and more years of healthy life.
So earlier on, we've put up a lot of charts and figures and stuff like that. So if you would like a better look at those charts and figures, do look at Salma's article on our website. That's www.straitstimes.com. And earlier you've mentioned fruits, vegetables, a diet, sort of maintaining a healthy diet, right? And you actually wrote this article that I'm about to speak of, which is that Singaporeans now are changing their diets. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our second story, which is from whole grains to less sugar, Singaporeans are eating healthier. The surge in demand for whole grain rice here started about 3 years ago, and it has grown steadily, accounting now for about 8% of all our rice eaten here. So could you elaborate on this observation about these healthy diets?
Okay, this has been changing over the past decade or so, more so recently. And not that I'm rooting for them, okay, but I think the Health Promotion Board has really done a good job.
Okay.
It has raised awareness that these are better food for your health, whole grains rather than simple starch, because simple starch say if you've got diabetes, okay, and you take white rice converts into sugar and it spikes your blood sugar level.
Okay.
Whereas something like whole grain red rice or brown rice, or even basmati rice, it doesn't spike as much.
Okay.
And so it's better for your health in that sense. Yeah. But I think what the HPB has done, not so much persuading people, and I think a lot of people are very health literate today. The main thing that they have done for Singapore is to make sure that these choices are available. Okay. Now, a lot of us work.
Yes.
So a lot of us eat out. And there used to be a lot of complaints that if we want to eat healthy, we either have to pack food from home, and if we leave early, we don't have time to cook. Very difficult to find healthy food outside unless you go to a salad bar, and not everybody wants to eat that all the time. Yeah. So what the board has done is that they have worked with actually even hawkers, so hawker centers, fast food chains, and all that, for them to come up with good healthy meals. So there is always one option for you that is healthier. Let me just check. They now have more than 9,600 food outlets that offer healthy meals in Singapore.
Nice.
And a mark of success really is that every day, okay, they sell 250,000 healthy meals every single day.
Wow.
Right.
That's honestly more than I would have thought.
Yes, I was quite surprised myself, right? But I guess, everybody is concerned about their health. They don't want to fall sick.
That's right.
Yep.
And it's also the issue of, not really an issue, but it's also the introduction of the healthier logo, right? And how supermarkets are carrying these healthier choice.
You're absolutely right. Nowadays manufacturers want that healthier logo because they find that their products move faster.
Oh.
Because people know that, okay, soy sauce is not good for you, right? It's salt, etc. But if I want to have a soy sauce, I might as well have a healthier one, the one with less salt. So the ones with the logo will sell much faster.
Oh, there's an interesting point of marketing that I didn't previously consider.
Right.
So what would you say is next for the Singaporean diet? Is there room for improvement?
There's always room for improvement. In fact, this is something you should ask my colleague Ray, because I think what the HPB plans to do next, actually they've announced it, I'm sorry, they're going to ban trans fat. In Singapore, and trans fat is very, very bad for your health. And she's our newsroom expert on that. So you should get her to tell you more about that.
And that is very coincidental because she will be my next guest coming on to show to explain, my apologies, this trans fat ban. So our next story, partially hydrogenated oils, the main source of artificial trans fats, will be banned as an ingredient in all foods sold in Singapore from June 2021. We have a video on that, about what that entails and what trans fats actually is. Have a look. So, along with me here to talk about this trans fats ban is Ray, as alluded to by Salma. Hello.
Hi, Kimberly.
So could you tell me a little bit more about this ban?
As you mentioned, it's a ban of partially hydrogenated oils as an ingredient, and this is going to apply to prepackaged foods. So if we're talking about freshly prepared foods, actually the ban is not going to affect it, and that's because these freshly prepared foods in hawker centres, in even fast food restaurants, have been using healthier oils since 2013 actually.
I see. So they've already been regulated, so to speak.
Exactly.
So we hear about this sort of all the time. Trans fats is a big key word. So what is so bad about it?
Well, trans fats are not really a big part of a natural diet.
Okay.
In meat and dairy products, they do occur in some small amounts, but the vast majority of trans fats are actually artificial trans fats. As we've seen in the video earlier, this was introduced to the human diet sometime in the early 20th century, that's the 1900s, when this process of hydrogenation was invented.
Okay.
And that's really a way of converting vegetable oils into solid or semi-solid states as a means of substituting for animal fats like butter, tallow, and so on. And back then, we didn't know that trans fats were really bad for you. Now we know, of course, that they raise your bad cholesterol levels and lower your good cholesterol. So some have called this a kind of double whammy impact on your health. As compared to saturated fats, which raise both your bad and good cholesterol, some scientists have actually estimated they may be up to 10 times as potent as saturated fats when it comes to cardiovascular disease risk.
Oh dear. So what then would you say is your recommendation for the Singaporeans out there? Is banning trans fats the be-all, end-all solution?
Well, as I mentioned, a lot of the freshly prepared foods have already been using healthier oils. But nonetheless, even if you do pick up healthier oil and you stir fry your food or deep fry your food at very high temperatures, some of the fats can be converted into trans fats. So it's best to avoid foods that are, avoid eating too much of these fried foods. Ultimately, with any kind of dietary recommendation, the key message is moderation. And I know that's kind of a boring message to hear. Everyone's always been hearing, eat in moderation, but that's really the way to go. As far as the trans fat ban is concerned, or the PHO ban, when it was announced, some of my friends came to me asking, you know, like, does this mean they're going to ban potato chips, instant noodles, cupcakes?
No.
That's not going to happen, of course. So we'll still have these snacks and foods around, but they will be healthier.
I see.
In the meantime, you can still look out for the trans fat levels in the labeling on the products. I think most products are actually required to label their total fat, saturated fat, and trans fat. So you can try to look out for the ones that have lower levels of trans fat. And in the ingredient list, if you're looking for PHOs, they can come in the name of partially hydrogenated vegetable oils or fats, hydrogenated vegetable oil, or vegetable shortenings. Yes, these are some of the ways that you can look out for these.
I see. So keep in mind all those different aliases of PHOs, I would say.
Quite
and
right.
all things in balance, right? Thanks for clarifying this for us, Ray. And those are the top stories of the day. For more stories and videos and updates on any of the stories you've heard today, please do go on to our website. That's www.straitstimes.com. Once again, I'm Kimberly. Thank you for watching The Big Story, and we'll see you tomorrow.